AIIB is a relatively young multilateral development bank. Can you please give us an overview of the bank and its background?
Yes, it's a pleasure. I'm the Vice President and Corporate Secretary of the bank. It is a relatively young multilateral development bank that is only 7 years old, but still it is already firmly a part of the multilateral development bank family, together with the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and others. And the objective of this bank is to finance investment in infrastructure. Infrastructure such as energy or telecom, transport, and the objective is to promote the well-being of people, to help the economies to grow, and this way to contribute to future prosperity for our members. If I may add, also, I mean, it has the same characteristics as the other multilateral development bank in the sense that it follows very high standards. So the projects that we finance are very high quality projects, and it is a bank that follows high standards of governance by itself. But we are also a bit different in the sense that our members are mainly 75% of our votes are with Asian countries, only 1/4 is outside. And it is where these Asian countries then have the significant majority.
What is the objective underlying your visit to Central Asia?
It is my first time I'm visiting Central Asia, and the objective is really to strengthen the relations with our members. Tajikistan, for example, is a founding member of the bank from the first generation. And because of COVID, we have not been able to visit, me, the corporate secretary, for several years. So it is important to visit our shareholders and strengthen the relations with them, to discuss our relations and how they can contribute to the bank and what they can profit from the bank. And that's the second objective. What projects can we work together on? What is the interest of Tajikistan? What can the AIIB do?
How does the bank choose what projects to support, and how do you work with your partners?
Well, we are client-oriented. So it means the projects that we finance, they are proposed by our members, by our client countries. So in Tajikistan, we have so far 2 projects. One is in the transport area, the road from Dushanbe to the border with Uzbekistan. That project was the second project of the bank, and that is already finished. So one can already profit from the shorter driving time. The other is the Nuro hydropower plant, which is still where the project is still being implemented. So if you take those 2 sectors, it clearly reflects the needs of Tajikistan. So the projects we finance are usually following the needs of the country.
Please explain, how do you prioritize green infrastructure in Tajikistan?
I think in Tajikistan, the priorities of the country and the need to become green, to support projects that help to prevent climate change is actually there is actually an easy and close connection, in the sense that, for instance, going forward, we are discussing with Tajikistan projects in the power sector. Again, hydropower is one, and I'm going to go to Rogun tomorrow, which is a big, I think the highest dam in the world. And so I'm very excited about going there and seeing that the exciting project that Tajikistan has. And hydropower is clearly for the benefit of not only for the global economy and Tajikistan's economy and the economy of the region, because it aims to provide energy for the whole region, but it also provides green energy and thereby helps to prevent carbon emissions and stop or reduce climate change risks. And that's, in a way, what we do with many of our projects, where we seek to make sure that what we in the jargon of the multilateral development banks call Paris alignment. So in all our projects, we have committed to be Paris aligned. That means we are not going to do certain things like coal-fired power plants. We are free to do certain other things like renewables, And then there are some areas like gas where we only finance if it is part of the transition plan and where it helps to reduce emissions now and is a transition technology for the future. But our focus is clearly on carbon-free energy.
What are the bank's priorities for this region? Do you plan to expand?
Yes, this is for us a region that has become more important. In this region there is a significant reform momentum here in Tajikistan, but also in other countries. There is more collaboration between the countries. So with these reforms, the prospect of good projects has clearly increased, and with the better collaboration between the countries, there is of course much more prospect also for projects that have benefits across the borders and across the region. And these hydropower plants that I mentioned for Tajikistan, they are providing clean energy not just for Tajikistan but for the region, and with the idea of forming more of an energy system across the region where these projects contribute to, we have much more potential for good projects. Similar in the private sector, the country wants to develop its private sector. So our strategy is to also support the country's efforts in this regard. So it is, we are really expanding, we are really interested in working with Tajikistan and in this region to further strengthen the development of the region, but also to build the business of the bank.
Thank you for your answers.